I haven't accepted myself. I'm still looking for other people to accept my uniqueness. That connection that I'm seeking is actually within myself, and these judgments that maybe I might be feeling of others that don't necessarily align with me, like those judgments are really of myself. Pretty much all areas of my life, I have never really fit in. I never was really I never was treated poorly, and it's not like I didn't have friends, but I always just was somewhat of the odd man out, the black sheep, or she's so different, or she's a rebel. Like I've always just been somebody who didn't go with the flow in my family and my friend groups, with my peers, with people in like the same industry as me. I have just always been different. I am just in this constant need for connection and for community. And every single time that it seems like I would obtain relationships that were going to make me feel like I fit in or like I was accepted, those relationships soon would end for some reason. And this is a pattern that I've seen all throughout my life in lots of different areas: romantic relationships, friendships, business relationships, just this need to have community with others, to feel accepted, and to feel like I'm not alone. And I know that this is something that a lot of us experience. A lot of us want to find partners or want to have like a really tight-knit friend group, and we're constantly always seeking for things outside of ourselves to make us feel safe, to make us feel accepted, for us to feel self-validation of some sort, that like, oh, they want to be with me, or oh, this group of people accepts me. And it just seems like every single time I've been trying to seek community and acceptance outside of myself through others, the same thing always happens. The relationship blows up for one reason or another, and then I'm left looking at myself and wondering what's wrong with me. Why did that relationship end, or why don't they accept me, or why am I no longer in community with them anymore? And I'm not finding community and connection that actually is long lasting because I haven't accepted myself. I haven't accepted my uniqueness. I'm still looking for other people to accept my uniqueness and my differences in order for me to accept my own uniqueness. And this is a pattern that I'm really trying to like dissect and figure out, okay, what pieces of my life can I really build community with myself, and what pieces of myself that maybe I don't really like about myself, like how can I accept and love all pieces of myself? That when we don't accept ourselves, we oftentimes are very judgmental of others because we are still struggling with our own selves, and therefore it's super easy to look at other people and, you know, really pinpoint out things that maybe not be like, maybe that you don't agree with, or maybe that don't align with you, or maybe they are something that this, like, certain people need to work on. Like, it's very easy for us, if we don't accept ourselves, to seek community outside of ourselves and never find it, and then also be judgmental of other people. And this is all like, all of these core wounds, they all kind of play a role with one another. And really what it boils down to is accepting yourself, all pieces of yourself. And therefore it doesn't matter if you are, you know, alone in a huge crowd for a year of your life and nobody connects with you. Like, you have connection with yourself. Since I've kind of come back to home base, this is a part of me being here, is really figuring out, like, how can I connect back with myself and be in full acceptance and full love for myself, regardless how different I am from other people in my family, how different I am from other people in my industry. I'm no longer seeking like connections with friends or romantic partners just because I want that community or I want that connection. I'm only really chasing after very much like aligned relationships for me. And when I know that they're coming from a place that they feel good and it's not just out of a need for community or a need for connection. So a big part of me coming back to Dallas is really facing the fact that in my hometown, in my family, in my industry, like I have always been really unique, and it is a really big objective that I need to overcome is just finding acceptance within myself in my uniqueness and honoring and really like embracing my uniqueness in order to not be seeking connection and community outside of myself with the wrong intention or with people that don't really align. I can't tell you how many times I feel like I have been a part of friend groups, or I've been a part of romantic relationships or business relationships with people or in situations with things that I just didn't really feel like they aligned for me, but I just so badly wanted to be in community with others. And so one of my biggest things that I'm trying to overcome right now is like, hey, if you are only going to be in community with yourself because that's what truly aligns right now for you, then that is totally okay. This is probably a huge part of the mission anyways, is for me to feel so much in connection and in community with myself that I fully embrace and accept all pieces of me. And as soon as we start doing that, then we start having relationships and situations, whether it be like, I say situations, like opportunities, we start having things that align with us and with our core values. I can say that, back about a year ago, when I really started to embrace who I truly, truly am to the core without any worry about like judgment of others, that is when I started having really beautiful opportunities, really beautiful connections with others. And that only was able to happen because I was truly showing up as like my most authentic self. And the people that gravitated towards that were wanting to connect with me. But for all of the time and the years that I was maybe like not coming from my most authentic self, I was connecting with others that didn't really align with me. Therefore, those relationships, those opportunities were very, very short-lived. And that's not to say that like I've always shown up in a way that like wasn't true and I was fake and it wasn't really authentic to me. But there was a lot of relationships and business opportunities that I had been a part of in the past that maybe I was a part of those situations and experiences and those opportunities because I was worried about really showing up as myself and that I wouldn't get what I really wanted or what was really aligned for me. And I can say that now that I've really made it a really like key focus in my life is to show up exactly as I am and to really try to accept and to love my uniqueness. I've been having so many really beautiful relationships and opportunities that have just kind of fallen in my lap, and they've been effortless because they truly align with me. So as I'm trying to continue down this path, I will say that it was really easy to live in this like true authentic self. It was really easy to just purely be myself outside of Dallas, to be honest. Now that I'm back in Dallas, I do feel like there's a power struggle of me feeling like I need to conform back to the culture of this city or the culture of people in my industry or there is this like feeling that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have community or connections with people unless I fit this mold, which this is a struggle for me, but it's really very loud right now in my life to just keep reminding myself that, hey, you have tapped into your most authentic self. You've seen what happens and what connections and opportunities happen when you do that. So now that I'm back here in this city, this is a real true test for me to continue on this trajectory of like showing up as who I truly am, accepting myself, accepting my uniqueness, and being alone if that means that I don't have community here, or being alone if I haven't tapped in, like maybe I'm going to meet a new community here or have new connections here. But I wanted to tap into this because I've really been experiencing all of the feelings like since coming back to Dallas of feeling very like unaccepted, feeling like this desire to connect with others, even if it's just not really like the most aligned connection or community. And honestly, having judgment of others. And these are really three things that I really needed to experience. I needed to kind of look them in the mirror and look myself in the mirror and look at those things in the mirror and realize, like, hey, this is one of the things that you're doing here. And this all boils down to just truly accepting my uniqueness and not worrying about the fact that I, like, really truly accepting my uniqueness and knowing that my community is actually within myself. That connection that I'm seeking is actually within myself. And these judgments that maybe I might be feeling of others that don't necessarily align with me, like those judgments are really of myself. So I'm going to start trying to do like a series about things that I'm kind of like, the things that are like calling to me, and putting together like a talk about it, and then possibly doing like a guided meditation about that specific subject, and then also a yoga sequence that actually taps into that, because all of these things, like through body movement, through meditation, like all of these things, we can really tap into what it is that we are trying to work on. And I'm just going to be sharing that with you. You guys know that I'm super vulnerable and transparent. And I know that I'm not the only person that is struggling with these three, like, not super ideal characteristics of myself. And so I wanted to just kind of share the work that I'm doing because I know that it'll be beneficial to someone else. So let me know what you guys think. Like, have you also been the black sheep of your family? Have you also never really quite fit in? Have you also struggled with maintaining relationships or being judgmental? I know that I'm not the only one. So comment below. Let me know I'm not the only one out there. And also make sure that you subscribe, because I am, like I said, this is going to be like a 3-part series. And then I'm going to continue to kind of just do additional topics and tap into body work and also meditation in order to dive deeper into that subject. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.